Good morning. My name is Joanne Laspina, and I'm part of the service team, and I welcome you all here today. Now, we have a little something going on a little different this morning. As you come up to do your sharing with the hungry in our community today, there's music going to be played. But before we start the music, we would like those who have just a tiny bit of rhythm to come up and take a drum, because this is the first time since COVID that we are bringing back the drumming circle after service today. So, to celebrate that, we thought it'd be kind of fun to start drumming early in the morning and get us ready. So please, feel free, come up and pick up a drum. And we have some other musical instruments for those who feel a little embarrassed by the drum. Come on, you're going to get a drum. Come on and pick a drum, and then we're going to start the music. Oh, you got some drums. Oh, you're right.
There's several.
So come, everybody, pick a drum.
Carol.
There's other instruments here too. You want a tambourine or just some shakers?
Uh-huh. Good. Oh, there's several big ones.
No more drums. Come on
One
out.
more.
There's some drums. Start it from the beginning, please. 1 second. Okay, let's of the divine spirit that is alive and well and acting in all of us and through us and with us and in us. At this point, I would like to ask a chaplain to come up and read the daily word.
Thank you, everyone. I have put the prayer box down here. It will be out in the lobby to the left on the table. Please put any of your prayers and wonderful thoughts, sad thoughts, whatever, and they will be prayed over in confidence for 30 days here, and then sent to Silent Unity for another 30 days. Thank you. The daily word today is thoughtful. My kind thoughts and deeds are a blessing. Today I bring the love and peace of God to all of my encounters by being thoughtful. More than politeness and deeper than kindness, thoughtfulness means I consider the comfort and happiness of others equal to my own. My intention is to let those in my life know what they mean to me. I may reach out to someone who needs an encouraging word, letting them know they have what it takes to succeed. I may surprise someone with a kind act, anticipating a need and taking care of something for them before they have to ask. Each thoughtful word and act lets those in my life know how important they are to me and how worthy they are of my time and attention. Do not neglect to do good and share what you have, for such sacrifices are pleasing to God. From Hebrews 13, verse 16.
Cleaning things again, COVID, always COVID ready. Thank you, Lorraine. Okay, so remember, unity is a positive path for spiritual living. We acknowledge all paths to God. Wherever you are on your path, you are welcomed here. Now join me for our vision, mission, and core values. Together with vision, a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. Mission, together, through prayer, service, education, and outreach, we support transformation and heart-centered living. And our core values: spirit-led, learning, loving, joy-filled, and community. A heartfelt welcome to those on Facebook and YouTubers. Again, I ask you to come on in, but if you can't, we like that you're there. And please like us on the YouTuber so that we can find you and you can find us easily. You're welcome, and you're missing the drumming. Announcements. Yes, Drum Circle is back. It's tentatively going to be the third Sunday of each month, okay, after service. Okay, so put that on your calendar. If you don't have your own drum, that's okay. We have drums here for you. Next week's guest is Reverend Elizabeth Thompson, and she's talking about the power of generosity. Very important. Okay, now something called the Blessings of the Pets. Okay, so starting in the first Sunday in October, we're going to have a bulletin board out there where you can bring a photo of your pet and put it on there. And it's going to take a whole month, so you have a whole month to get a photo of your pet. If you can't get a photo of your pet, or you don't know what to do, then you can, Linda's going to assist in printing them. If you send them to her at her particular email, no, that's a web email, yes, linda@unityportritchie.org. She's happy to print them on paper for you, and she'll have them then for you for the following Sunday. So then there'll be a group blessing at the last Sunday. We will do a simple blessing, and so let's show them off. And again, that sounds like fun. And if you have, you know what? And it's a pet. So again, I have cats. I don't have dogs.
It's
and if you have birds,
past or present.
Yes, and even past or present. I was going to, yeah, that's good. Okay. Now, this is what I've been waiting for, because there's words that we've been just saying, like community and service. Okay, so Pack the Park. That's a fundraiser, a yearly fundraiser for the entire community for Pack-a-Sack for all the children in our schools that we help fund and deliver food for them on the weekends. So it's a big fundraiser at Sims Park, and it's on October 15th. Now, we do sponsor it, and we have a tent. All right, so it runs from 10 to 2 p.m. on that day. And we don't have anyone signed up yet to help us run that. Yes?
I wanted to let everybody know too, we're going to be incorporating drumming at that event also. Can they hear you?
Yes.
Wanted to let everybody know that we will also be incorporating drumming at that event to kind of show everybody what it is that we do here. We're, a little bit different and enjoyable. So if you have a drum, bring it out for that also.
Great. Okay, great. Now, I found out it's from 10 to 4, and we need at least 4 people, so they could do 2 people for 2 hours, and then 2 people will relieve them for another 2 hours. Okay. You can go to this website, which is in the newsletter. So on the newsletter, it'll have that long website, and you can just click on it, and it'll send you there. But we really need at least 4 people to sign up in the lobby, okay, before October 15th. So the tent will be there, and we need the people to man the tent. Okay. So our newsletter, we send out weekly, and if you want to be on our mailing list, please fill out the yellow card in front of you in the pew, and you can scroll on the bottom, and you'll see where you can subscribe. We would like to welcome any newcomers or new visitors. Anybody here for the first time? Yes. Welcome. So again, if you're interested in what we do, please fill out this yellow card, and then you can place it in the offering at the end of the service. And also, if you're new and don't have a name tag yet, please, in the lobby, there's a sheet like this where you would fill out the request and fill out the name tag. We want to start calling everyone by their names instead of, hey, you. Okay, so let's try doing that. So today our guest speaker is Reverend Anne-Marie Acacio. Okay, wanted to get that pronunciation correct. She graduated from Advanced Training Program in Unity School of Christianity in 1893. She really looks good for her age. She knew Myrtle. Glad you could take it. Okay. and was licensed as a teacher at Metaphysical Studies in Unity Worldwide in 1984. She continued to serve as spiritual leader and was accepted into the newly created field licensing and ordination program at Unity in 1992, culminating an ordination in 1996. She is also a certified life coach and group coach, having graduated from the Academy of Coaching Excellence in 2005. Reverend Anne Marie and her husband Bob will celebrate 58 years of marriage in August 2021. And their 3 adult children and their spouses, they have 9 grandchildren and 6 great-grandchildren. Oh, okay. Okay. Right? I know, you have to keep updating this. Yes. Okay. She will join us right after this special music. Thank you.
Everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. I'm through crying, I'm through waiting, I'm through holding against all hope. I'm through longing for something gone that'll never return. Think I finally learned to believe.
what a perfect song for this morning. Morning, I'm so glad we get the chance to play and pray together this morning. So I brought a question with me today, and please be honest. How many of you here have not come from someplace else in your life to be here this morning? So nobody's fresh out of the womb today, is that it? No. In other words, we all have a past. The thing is, does your past have you? I had this opportunity to use this title, well, that was then, this is now, with many people who have been attached to the past through anger, disappointment, guilt, and the biggie, regret. Anybody here not have any regrets about something that you did, didn't do, say, didn't say from the past? Have you ever said, boy, if I had to do it all over again, no regrets? No regrets? Good for you. All right. That's fantastic. The truth is, the only way that we can get from then to now is by accepting change. A lot of people say, well, just go with the flow. I like to say, let's flow with what's going, because what's going may not always look like flow, does it? You feel familiar with A Course in Miracles? Yes, okay. There's a line in A Course in Miracles that says, above all else, I want to see things differently. Familiar with that one? I'd like to change one word in it. What's the one word you think I would want to change in that line? Let me say it again. Above all else, I want to see things differently.
Want.
Want. You got it. What do you think I would change it to? Willing. Oh, I love you guys. I love you guys. Absolutely correctamundo. I am willing to see things differently, because if I'm not willing, I can just want from now till, well, my daughter lives on a farm, raises cattle, till the cows come home. And I've seen that happen when they go up the pasture in the morning and then they come back down in the evening, and it's just so relaxing. Yeah, because if we're not willing to take that next step forward, what happens is we continue to make the same choices that we made before and getting the same results, which is the definition of insanity. Why? Because there's my favorite F word, feedback. Remember that word I told you about before? That if you didn't remember anything else that I ever said when I came here, remember the word feedback. And I write about it a lot in my book. Because life does give us feedback. And that's the insanity part. Well, you know, that didn't work before. Why did I think it was going to work again now? Feedback is such an important aspect for us to pay attention to in our lives. Otherwise, what we draw to us is, do you remember the movie Groundhog Day? Where it just keeps repeating itself and repeating itself. Yeah. There was an article in the Kyoto, Japan journal many years ago. I remember seeing it written about that there was this company that was laying new rail lines, and they wondered why the rails were such an odd size. So the engineer says, let me do some research about this. And what they learned was that the dimensions of the rails were the exact same dimension as the ancient Roman wagon wheels. Duh. And here they were still using those same dimensions. What were so outdated dimensions. Is there anything that reminds you a metaphor for life? It doesn't take much of a stretch to see it as a metaphor for life, and perhaps even for ministry. So let's listen to what's being shared here today on two levels. See how it fits us in our own personal life, and see how it fits us in our ministry. Because here you are, right at the doorstep, that's not the word, threshold. That's the word I'm looking for. Right at the threshold, going into a new location, drawing to yourselves the new ideal minister that's taking you to the next step in your own personal growth. Because that's what it's about. You don't have growth in the ministry unless we have personal growth. And we bring that to the ministry. Would you agree?
Yes.
Okay, so that's what we're looking at. Did you know that the human intellect responds much better when it has a lot of past evidence to prove its conclusions? When I went to the Academy for Coaching Excellence, I learned something that really stuck with me, because I learned, I saw it from life, and you probably did too, that what we do in life is that we draw the evidence to us and then we form a conclusion. Isn't that correct? Well, what if the opposite were true? What if we came in with conclusions and we sent our monkey mind out to draw the evidence to say, I knew that was going to happen. I knew she was going to say that. I knew this. What do you think about that? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we draw the evidence to us. So when I would have people that came to me for counseling when I was back in ministry, I can't believe it's 16 years that I'm retired. Whoa. When I had people that came, and they were telling me about all these instances in life, I'd say, let's look at what's in your conclusion box. You know, that's a commercial on TV that says, well, what's in your wallet? Well, what's in your conclusion box? That you're drawing these evidence to you, say, well, yeah, I knew that that wasn't going to work out well. Once again, what's my favorite F word?
Feedback.
Feedback. Hello, yep. Feedback, it comes in a lot of different areas. So just like the old outdated rail lines, we get that same outdated dimensions in the way we may be approaching things in life. Because it's impossible to have change and status quo at the same time. That seems like a no-brainer, doesn't it? Yet, how many individuals say, well, yeah, I'm willing to have change in my life. Yet, as soon as some ruffles start to come up, you say, I wasn't expecting that. Well, what do you think change is about? It's about having a couple of ruffles in your life that's going to shake things up. If we're not willing to allow that change to come, then the different segments in our life first are going to start to feel uncomfortable. And then, if we're not looking at the feedback from the uncomfortable, what comes up is they start to feel painful. There are even some individuals who wait until the things are falling apart at the seams stage before they move forward and begin to do something in their lives. First slide, please, Jeremiah. Deepak Chopra, all great things are preceded by chaos. We read that in the first chapter of Genesis, don't we? Yeah. In the beginning, everything was void, was chaos. There was no creation here yet. And then God said, let there be. And the first let there be was, let there be light. Because if it looks like chaos, then are we seeing shadows, darkness? Let there be light would be the first declaration or affirmation that we might want to consider to bring some light on the subject. How many of you have been in a room where you were looking and depending on the light from the windows, and it was getting to be dusk, getting darker, 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 and then somebody flipped on the light switch and you said, oh, let there be light. Yeah. So let's do that in our personal lives too. How many changes come about because of what I like to call divine discontent? My daughter Janine came with us this morning, drove me here. I'm so glad because my GPS was not getting us here, and she put it in her phone and we came right to it, and I'm so grateful. So we talked about the divine discontent this morning because it comes up in every single one of our lives, doesn't it? Something that just doesn't seem to fit well. Perhaps it's a relationship, or maybe it's a course of study that you might be in. It doesn't feel fulfilling. Perhaps you were studying to be an engineer, and yet your heart feels like it belongs in the musical field. Yet somebody told you along the line that, well, being a musician, that's not going to pay the bills. You got to have a real job. Did anybody ever tell you that? Yeah. Yeah, going around and playing piano, that's not going to pay the bills. You won't pay the rent that way. Okay, so, or maybe it is your job. Maybe you don't feel fulfilled in that job, and you're looking to make a change in your life, yet you don't quite know yet what it is that you want to move into. Maybe it's where you're living. Maybe you're not happy with the neighborhood, or things that happen in the neighborhood. Maybe you like some of the people, but things have happened. I'm out of here. Oh, where am I going to go? Is it like that in all the neighborhoods? Not where I live. I live in the villages, and I love it. I love it in the villages. I feel like I'm living in a bubble. Really, seriously. And yet, we have one of those things on the email, next door neighbor. There was a car stolen in this village. It's usually up north or close to 301. I'm so glad that we don't have that in our area. I'm really grateful. When I was newly married, we were having children, I stayed at home to raise the children. I was the mom, raising 3 kids. Sometimes it felt frustrating, felt unfulfilled, because there was something more that wanted to come out. But then I realized, in hindsight, you know that 20/20 part of our vision? I realized in hindsight that although I was raising children, I wasn't raising myself. And at that time, I was practicing Catholic, and I prayed all the time, God, please change this. Please make this different. Please, please do this. And then unity found me. A friend of mine, a friend of ours, my husband and me, we were friends with this woman, Mary, and she, just out of the blue, she sent us a subscription to Daily Word as an Easter gift, 1977. At that time, you could send it for $1. And I began to see things differently. And what I learned was there's different ways to pray. Hello. You know, the way I was praying was all begging, please, God, no, please. So there were 3 different ways of prayer, definitions, that have stayed with me that I really like. And the first one is from Emerson. I like it so much that it just went right out of my mind. Okay, give me a minute here. Okay. Prayer is contemplating the facts of life from the highest point of view. Everything we see, everything that's created here, everything is a fact of life. Are you with me? It's a fact. It may not be the truth. Our perspective of it may not be accurate. So that's what we want to look at. contemplating, looking at, taking in all those facts of life. What's the highest thing that I can think about this? And hold that in my mind. So that's Emerson's definition of prayer. Then we come to Charles Fillmore, the co-founder of Unity, affectionately called Papa Charlie. And he says that prayer, and you can read this in Unity's revealing word. Anybody familiar with the revealing word here? No? Oh, wow. Okay. The revealing word is a metaphysical description, and metaphysics is the mind coming before the physical. Meta is the Greek word mind, comes before the physical. So everything happens in mind first, and then it's output to the physical. And the revealing word gives us the metaphysical meaning of everyday words. The Metaphysical Bible Dictionary gives us the metaphysical meaning of names of people and places in Scripture. I could not do a Sunday lesson, a class, without my Metaphysical Bible Dictionary. What does this mean? Why did they go here? Why did this happen? Why did that? Metaphysical Bible Dictionary. What does this name mean? Or my revealing word. Or my trusty thesaurus. Those three books are always right there on my desk. Okay, so what does Fillmore say about prayer? Fillmore says that prayer is the most highly accelerated mind action known to man. Very similar to Emerson. Remember that Fillmore and Emerson were contemporaries. Most highly accelerated. If you had a record player and you had it on a 33 speed RPMs, then you switched it up to a 45 RPM. Then you switched it up to a 78. You see where I'm going with this? Okay, now let's take that energy and let's move those RPMs up to the highest that we can do. What happens if you put something external on that kind of a centrifugal force? Flies right off, doesn't it? Sure. So what happens if you get your mind moving at that kind of speed, which Jesus says, don't judge by my good Jewish friend Jesus. Do you know what I'm talking about? Okay. My good Jewish friend, sure. Don't judge by appearances, judge by right judgment. To me, it's the same thing here. You put something external on that kind of centrifugal force, that kind of speed. Because something external would have to be of the third dimension. And we're talking about getting that force, those RPMs, to a level that is beyond the third dimension. And anything that's part of the physical has no place on it. It'll just spin itself right off. No. Are you with me? You got the concept here? Got the picture? Okay. Now, the third one is from Khalil Gibran. Wrote the book The Prophet. Familiar with Khalil Gibran? Yes. Gibran says prayer is the expansion of oneself into the living ethers. Don't you love it? Just think about that for another minute. The expansion of oneself. You go beyond your physical form. You go beyond time and space into the living ethers. You go into the etheric. And in the etheric is idea. Nothing in form in the etheric, is it? And so that's where we're going in prayer, where there is nothing created yet. We get to call it forward in all of these definitions. I've got those angel bumps all over me. saved abroad for last because that's my favorite definition. So we allow ourselves to open up to new horizons. The 3 A's. Acknowledge and accept the place where we are right now. I've talked with some people who don't want to acknowledge where they are. Oh no, that's not me. No, yeah, say it, speak it. Admit it to yourself. That's where I brought myself in my life right now. And it's only from here that I can take the next step forward. So acknowledge and accept it. This is where I am. And the 3rd A is appreciate the value that you've extracted from where you are. Because there's always a learning in it, always. Acknowledge, accept, and appreciate. I was thinking about that on the drive down, and I thought, gee, I wish I had said that to Jeremiah at 2:30 in the morning when I sent him something else. And he responded to me, too. I said, oh, another night owl. How many of you are familiar with a kaleidoscope? Yes. Janine had sent me a kaleidoscope many, many years ago. I move it from house to house to house. It's beautiful. And it has gems on one wheel. There were 2 wheels on it. And one is a white wheel. And the other one has different colored gems on it. And in order to look through a kaleidoscope, 2 things are important. Number 1, it's important to close one eye. Okay? You with me? Because you cannot look through that hole and see what's there without closing the other eye. What does Scripture tell us? Let your eye be single. Single. Let your eye be single, okay? So we're looking through that one eye. If I have that kaleidoscope pointed towards a wall, how much am I going to see? It's going to be pretty dark, isn't it? Yeah. So what's the important thing? Shift and point it towards the light. Hello. Let your eye be single and let there be light. The kaleidoscope is a perfect example of what we're being called to do. So, the final point is, although I like to say the how is none of my business, yeah, it's important for us to look at how can we move forward into the now if we're not happy with the place where we are now. Have you ever felt held hostage by your past? Yeah, some of us have. And so number 1, make a decision to free yourself from the judgments about the past, and especially the need to carry those judgments. It's not just about the judgments. It's about holding on to the need to carry the judgments, because sometimes it's really important for us in that need to make somebody else responsible for where we are. You with me? It's not about them. They were simply the role player that got you there. Yeah, you brought yourself here. I brought myself here. I had some other slides that I had planned to show, and when I went into my, my folder, they weren't there. So I'm going to tell you about it anyway, and then I'll show you what I was able to find. The one slide was, love keeps no record of wrongdoing. And it's so true. As we move into that higher vibration and move into that space of love, there's no wrongdoing. We see that every person that came through our space, came on that path with us, no matter for how long it was. They were the role player that brought us to the next place that we're supposed to be in. The next slide, please. Forgiveness. I'll read it for you if you can't see it. Forgiveness doesn't excuse their behavior, Forgiveness prevents their behavior from destroying your heart. Good one, huh? Yeah. Well, we'll know when we've forgiven. How will we know? What's my favorite F word? Feedback. Yes. And the feedback is that we'll no longer be invested in evidence gathering. It's done. It's done. That monkey mind, we will have told it, sit over here, wait till I tell you to do something else. No, its job is finished. The purpose of our past is learning. And learning is changed behavior. That's how you know that you've really picked up on it and you've learned from it. Because your behavior has changed. So have we taken what we've learned and allowed it to enrich our life? Because as we allow it to enrich our life, there are other people watching. And they're seeing that you're doing something differently. We give them the opportunity to follow by example, lead their life, enrich their lives too. Those of you who have read my book, you know that I put a lot of emphasis on one line that I learned years and years ago that has really freed me from a lot of S-I-N, self-inflicted nonsense. And that line is, how can I fault myself for something that I did while I was learning? Do you remember that line in the book? Yeah. How can I fault myself for something I did while I was learning? So even though I may have had regret for a while, and I certainly wouldn't make that same choice, yet, am I willing to free myself from it? Yeah, because if I want to take the next step forward, then I can't be being pulled backward, can I? You can't have change and status quo at the same time. And if I'm willing to free myself, am I willing to free you? How can I fault you for something that you did while you were learning? Remembering that everything that happened is all part of what moves me to my next ideal place. It takes an open heart. Another slide that I'll just tell you about. It says, I didn't change, I just woke up. It's that simple. I didn't change, no. I simply woke up. And so, you know, when you first wake up, your eyes are kind of like dim and you're not quite sure where you are. And then when you wake up, then you're not going to run into the dresser on your way to the bathroom. Mm-hmm. You know where things are, you know where you're going. Not only it takes an open heart, it takes a lot of compassion to move from the investment in judgment to the new investment in acceptance and moving forward, because we no longer have the old investment. The next slide, please, Jeremiah. Oh, that's... Okay. We'll go to this one. Healing doesn't mean the damage never existed. It means the damage no longer controls your lives. Of the one that I have in here. Once you have truly known grace, your tit-for-tat universe is forever undone. Grace, the unconditional love of spirit. Unconditional. I talk about that in the book too. That there's nothing that you can do to earn God's grace, because it's given freely. You don't need to earn something that's given freely. So anytime we're tempted to ruminate about the past, remember, that was then, this is now, this is now, no, this is now, no, this is now. You see how quickly it can change? So long as we're willing, because otherwise, here we are back in the then. Or my favorite slide, didn't you get the one that says this was about the Zen, the cat? No. Once you have to, oh, you have that one. Okay. So once you have truly known greater tit for tat universe is forever undone. Isn't there one more, Jeremiah?
I'm looking.
Nothing. My favorite slide. Okay. Imagine this, a cat, a black cat, sitting in Buddha position. And it says, that was Zen. This is, yeah. I want to look for that one. Because I know that was in, oh well. Before we move into a time of meditation, I'd like to teach you a little chant. And I thank Jeremiah for putting the words in here. Next slide, please. Oh,
There it is.
There's my little booty calves.
That was Zen.
That was Zen. This is the next one, please. There we go. I asked her to put the words here because as I teach you the music for it, it's going to be a lot easier to follow along with the words. And it goes like this. I release the past and let the healing power of love into my life. Together. I release the past and let the healing power of love into my life. One more time. I release the past and let the healing power of love into my life. I invite you to put everything in your mind aside. Close your eyes if you feel comfortable. Be comfortable in your chair. Breathe as we prepare for our time of meditation. You may find it helpful to have your feet flat on the floor so that you're grounded in the earth's energy as you allow your inner energy to move freely through your body. Simply allow the chair to support you. And as you take your next gentle breath, direct your attention away from the physical and let it come to rest at the very center of your being, right above your navel. The solar plexus, point of balance. In this holy instant, we take this blessed opportunity to let go. To let go all that's come before this present moment that no longer has value for us. Whatever may have taken your attention away from your spiritual purpose, our intention is to follow the path that was modeled for us by our good Jewish friend, Jesus. I invite you to take a moment and in your mind's eye, acknowledge the qualities that you see in Jesus. Qualities that you would like to emulate. And as Paul writes in his first letter to the Corinthians, and the greatest of these is love. These qualities are who you are and who you've come here to be as an example and a way shower, just as Jesus and other master teachers have done. Now here in the silence, claim the guidance of the Holy Spirit, that whole Spirit of God in you, to guide you in those times when you may feel distracted by the ways of the world. And give thanks for the awareness of the present moment. The past is right where it belongs, in the past. Let the healing power of love guide your actions, letting go of that which no longer serves you. And I invite you to take the next few moments and consciously experience the freedom of the now. What does it feel like to feel free in the now moment? Experience it and enjoy it in the silence. Now I invite you to take another gentle breath and bring that feeling with you as you begin to bring your awareness up behind your eyes. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes and be aware of your experience of greater clarity and freedom as we give thanks, and know that it's already accomplished in the name and through the presence and power of God's amazing grace, in which we intentionally and humbly live and move and have our being. And so it is. Amen. Namaste. The divinity in me honors the divinity in you.
Thank you, Reverend. I'd like to just remind you that our prayer chaplains are here today. We have two, actually, and they'll be sitting in the back if you need to pray. Even, gratitude is a nice thing to say out loud. It sort of confirms it. So again, pray for health or whatever, but also gratitude and love and everything else. Okay. I'd like to say thank you to the staff here today and to the Reverend. Thank you, chaplains, Lindas, counters, ushers, Gail, Jeremiah, and myself. and especially to the residents. Will the ushers please come up?
I'd like you to take your gift in your hand, please, if you would. We call it a love offering because we invest love into it. So let's do that now. Let's move into our heart space and invest that love into it. And we affirm this statement together. In deep gratitude, I give way to the limitless flowing constant substance. To yourself as all that I have, all that I can, all that I receive, and the blessings are multiplied. Thank you, God. As I like to say, I am the hand of God. I give in love and joy, and I receive in abundance. So it is.
Gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful, 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 gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful.
I invite you to join with me in this collective blessing as we give thanks that this gift, this collective gift, represents the allness of God's substance that is put into the universal flow through us. We send it out to do God's work in God's way through each of us here as Unity in Newport Richey. And we give thanks that it returns to bless us in overflowing measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over with every good thing. And it is done. So it is. Amen.
Please stand and hold hands if you feel safe enough and join us in the peace song.
And let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let me walk with my family in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
And now let's join together in the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. And wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Happy Sunday, everyone.